and have Spencer Cameron or Rob McDermott in support and maybe put some tries on the board for their back line.
We mentioned some of the changes. We take a look at the starting lineups first from Metropolis. Bryant Larson will get the start at the loosehead prop. He'll be joined by Zach Haley as the hooker. Haley, fantastic yesterday, just 19 years old. Elliot Fisher will be the tight head prop, joined by Jerome Struther and Chris Murray as the locks. Blindside flanker, Connor McGill. The open side flanker, Telly Veamatahau. The captain, number 8, Wade McEnroy. The halfbacks are Adam Diffley and Trace Ballstead. You mentioned the centers, the inside center, Kavika Piniata, the outside, Logan Hansen. Right wing will be Sean Kelly, left wing, Joel Yogerst, and the fullback, Simeon Shumper. Now the starters for the Reds. Reds, well, also making 2 changes to their front line. The only one who returns from yesterday is their loosehead prop, Matt Upton, joined by Ben Tini and Carl Drake. The locks will be Sal DiMartino along with Vincent Chase. Chase, the former SMU Mustang tight end, moves from number 8 up to the lock. The flankers will be Nick Antaki along with Alex Hernandez, the former St. Edward's University player. The number 8, Jeremy Nielsen. Halfbacks, Chris Slater, Blake Bolton, Tucker Shaw, and Rob McDermott are the centers. The outside center is the captain, Rob McDermott, wears the number 13. John Moore is the left wing, Chris Kelly the right wing, and Spencer Cameron is the fullback. So teams coming out on the field, just moments away from kickoff. We will have a national anthem to honor America. Again, game 1 of 2, so please you could join us here on USARugbyTV.com, T5RDG production. Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you as we now rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Opening kickoff just moments away between Metropolis and the Dallas Reds. Metropolis in those red, white, and blue striped jerseys going from right to left here in the first 40 minutes. The host Reds in the white jerseys trimmed with red and the black numerals. They will kick it off, will the Reds. They are led by Reese Ball, Kevin Clark, Bruce McGregor, Nathan Osborne, the former U.S. men's national team. Backs in attack coach, the head man for Metropolis. Both these teams looking to get out to a good start. A stiff wind in the face of the Reds as we get things underway. And there it is, 80 minutes to play between Dallas and Metropolis. Dallas, the first possession, moving quickly to the outside. Dallas are going to get it in the hands of Bolton. Bolton, that fly half so impressive yesterday, was the first 5/8. Moving quickly, Dallas. In and out of the hands that time of Tucker Shaw. The heat will certainly affect this Minnesota side that has not played a competitive match since November. They've been training indoors, as you might expect. They're home pitch under about 2.5 feet of snow. Now Metropolis, their first touches of the game offensively.
Kavika Piniata's already been the tank that he needs to be this morning one time.
Piniata, that inside center here to the near side.
Televea Matahau goes into touch.
So you mentioned the absences, especially for Metropolis, without JoJo Tikoisova along with, Pate Takivekatsa, two players that were influential yesterday, both on their pro contracts. Neither here, along with Chad Joseph and Rashad Harbor. Neither made the trip. Rashad in Sacramento, Joseph in Ohio, both with the pro contract as well.
Out of Dallas, yes. Zach Haley, the 19-year-old hooker from Metropolis, has a throw-in.
Haley was spectacular yesterday.
Solid as a rock with his throws and his hooks.
Moving quickly, Metropolis. There is Piniata. Piniata bowling forward over the 22-meter line. Out it goes, the knock on, but into the hands of the Reds. We'll have to see who has it. It will be Dallas ball. That ball sent the other way off the boot of Slater.
And there's the wind picking up, holding that ball from going deeper than it should have, and that's why we want that. You don't want to be kicking left to right too high there.
McDermott, the outside center, the captain today for Dallas. Wade McEnroy, the number 8, Metropolis' longtime center. Excuse me, longtime captain, I should say, is the number 8. That ball, you saw the wind get a piece of it. Dallas had an opportunity, but unable to hold on to it. Ball on the turf, eventually picked up by Metropolis in the hands of Struther, the big lock, as he goes forward.
Summers had the advantage there to Metropolis for the knock-on by Dallas. Now he has penalty, and then no advantage gain. He's going to give the scrum.
You've got to think weather certainly to the advantage of the home side. But Metropolis, their head coach saying, well, you never know. Some of these teams in the midseason, they pick up a lot of injuries, and that's been the case for Dallas. A lot of new players starting today that we did not see, but an opportunity to impress from both sides. First scrum of the match goes to Metropolis. Just 3 minutes in.
Dallas definitely got the better of Metropolis on that one, and the scrums turned much more than 180. And
Grant, that being said, how would you compare these two packs from Dallas and Metropolis?
Well, Matt Upton is just a beast at loose head, man. He was solid all day yesterday. He's going to be solid all day today. Zach Haley and Ben Teeney, man, Ben Teeney's been a great hooker ever since his college days at Texas A&M, and he's not changed. He was great when he was at Hurt in Houston, and now he's here at Dallas, and this is his first chance to really get some D1 time in with them. He's had 1 or 2 games that he's come off the bench for him, and obviously Matt Upton is driving, and he's going to have to control that drive right there.
Upton, that big loose head prop, the former Dallas Jesuit man, local product, played his college ball for the Oklahoma Sooners. He was a member of the D2 National Championship squad with the New Orleans Rugby Football Club, so a very impressive resume, or CV, if you will, for our fans from across the pond.
Now here's an interesting aspect where the wind is going to benefit whoever's attacking into the left side of the field today. The wind's coming in strong out of the south, and you're going to see these longer kicks being taken. It looks like Ballstead's got the confidence that he can put this one through.
Well, you mentioned Ballstead briefly. Ballstead has been playing rugby since he was about 8 years old. This is his first time with the D1 squad. It's something he's been long awaiting and anticipating. Can he put his side up 3? Ballstead from well out. It has the distance. It is up and good perfectly. That one had about 20 yards to spare, and it is 3-0 in favor of Metropolis early on.
And, right there, the wind being a giant factor. He's got a great boot as it is, but with these goalposts being in the back of the tri-zone, he's definitely going to have some work on his hands there.
And Grant, for our viewers that aren't familiar with Mr. Ballstead, talk to a little bit about Trace and his history, his familial history here in the game of rugby.
His dad's has been a Minneapolis player or a Metro player forever and a day, and coaches at Hopkins High School, which is another great pipeline there in Minneapolis to bring players through. And Trace himself loves coaching there as well.
Well, that's one thing that Nate Osborne, the Metropolis head coach, mentioned. He said, we have 2 pipelines, one from Hopkins High School, another from Minnesota Duluth. That goes all the way back. Cameron unable to hold on to it initially, but picks it up.
Knock on there by Dallas. Metro's got the ball and advantage is out to him.
Shumper trying to get it out quickly. Now out it comes. Pinata, no look pass, not finding the target on the turf. Dallas with it. Good hands from the Reds.
No advantage being gained by that first knock on, though. Derek Summers is going to take it back for a scrum. And, this will be interesting, another scrum. Let's see if Upton can actually control himself. He looks like Johnny Herron has slotted in for DiMartino, where we had DiMartino in at lock. Now it looks like Herron's in there. So you've really got a strong drive on that left side of the scrum for Dallas, and see if they can control that and keep that from wheeling more than once.
Watching the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship, Metropolis, they made their way. Here's the Midwest runner-up in 2015. For Dallas, they were the Red River runner-up. We will see the champions last year. Coming up next, the Blues of KC, the Midwest champion, and the Blacks of Austin, the Red River champion. Blacks were the men's Division I national champion runner-up as they fell to Nyack in that national championship final. There's Big Pinata bowling forward.
Youngers made the gain line and then some. That was a good run for Metropolis.
The Metropolis looking dangerous, looking to add to their 3-0 lead. Dallas on the back heel defending, trying to go through at the line, but unable to dot it down. Still pressing forward. A big opportunity. Metropolis that wants to take a quick advantage. They fell to Dallas in that match that they lost back in November. They went down 3-0. They ultimately had a 12-3 lead before Dallas was able to come back for that victory.
And that win didn't do Logan Hansen any favors there. He tried to catch it with one hand, and then that little tip-off sent it forward. Dallas is going to have their first scrum put in on this one.
So obviously we mentioned Matt Upton, but an impressive front line along with Upton, Teeny, and Drake as well. Keeney, the fullback, the native of Gold Coast, Queensland. Excuse me, that would be Keenley, not Teeny. I'm misreading my notes. My apologies there. Keeney, the local product, a former A&M Aggie, the Houstonian, is out it goes, looking for something. Eventually tracked down, so both teams having some handling issues early in this one, all the way back to the 22-meter line for Metropolis. Struther.
Hansen did well to clean that up, and Struther's going to be a tank just like he was yesterday.
Quickly in and out of the hands of big Connor McGill, the blindside flanker, excuse me. Saw a bit of space. That one dropped off. Nice run. Big momentum for Metropolis as that ball's knocked away. Finds itself with the team from Minneapolis. The intensity sky high from the opening kick. Vea Matahau. On to Murray. Murray, the other lock, along with Struther.
Definitely getting a much quicker ball out today than Christensen was, and I think that's because Christensen hurt his shoulder early on and didn't come out early enough to let Diffley make these quick moves like he's making today.
Now you mentioned those changes, some pro contract players not here, injuries. But so far, Metropolis on the front foot. They fell yesterday. They want to get in the winning column today. 38-14 was the final in that game against the Blacks of Austin. There's the captain, McEnroy. On it goes Ballstead, the youngster. Just shy of the line, over, dotted down. We will have to see. It is indeed. So a quick lead. The first try of the match goes to Metropolis, and right now everything going the way of the side from Minnesota.
Trace Ballstead showed some great ball smarts there coming up, seeing that Sean Kelly was going to give him a solidly presented ball, picked up and just dove in for the corner. Let's get the 5 points. Let's get another set of points on the board and extend this lead. Ballstead, he's not worried about where he's kicking from, what side of the field he's kicking from this time. And Kelly's down. Looks like he's a little injured.
Kelly down on the pitch, being attended to by the training staff. What a performance it was yesterday from Sean Kelly, the right wing. He was fantastic.
Yeah, Austin definitely had to tie him up on the outside. They couldn't let him go. They found that out early on when he cherry-picked the ball that was not being attended to or communicated and took it down for a solo try. Nobody chasing him.
Again, welcome all of you joining us on USA Rugby TV. Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you, the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship. We take this opportunity to thank Baylor Scott and White Health System, Sports Care, the largest nonprofit health system in the state of Texas. Years of experience, numerous awards, and over 30 hospitals. They deliver a complete and customized treatment plan for you and your loved ones. You can connect with them at baylorhealth.com/sportscare or simply call 1-800-4BAYLOR.
And Metropolis is making a change now with Kelly coming off.
So 8-0, unable to convert was Ballstead. Dallas, maybe a bit shell-shocked, the host, not anticipating this. The real question is, can Minnesota keep this up for the full 80 minutes? That was one of the keys this year for the head coach, Nathan Osborne. He said, we have to play the full 80. We play very good sporadically. We play good for a half, 60 minutes, but trying to string together the entire game performance, that's something they've yet to do. When I say yet to do, just their second game of 2016, their second competitive match. And a line out to the far side for Dallas. You see the wind wreaking havoc with the flags. Dallas now trying to get it. No, they're going to keep it inside.
Blake Bolton had some fancy footwork yesterday and put some nice tries together for Dallas with that footwork.
In the hands of Antaki, that blindside flanker. Now on to Shaw. Shaw bowling forward with the scrum cap. Quickly played out by Slater. Over to the far side. Cutting through was DiMartino. DiMartino, one of those new additions today for the Reds, gets the start. In and out of the hands of Nielsen. My apologies, that was Heron, the lock. That's second row mate, number 4. Big Red Heron, gotta like the nickname. It works for his hair color and his team color scheme. So scrum for Metropolis.
Metropolis brought on Broderick King to replace Kelly. King's in the gray scrum cap at number 21 for Metropolis.
Back it goes quickly, in and out of the hands of Diffley. High into the air. See the wind at the back and into touch.
There's the risk we talked about earlier. Taking the risk on the high hanger, seeing if we can find the space. But the wind just took that straight into touch. So you're really going to have, Ballstead made what would have normally been a good choice there, but with the wind, that ball's going to just carry on, and you've got to be conservative with how you're going to put that in the corner.
Grant, that's something you mentioned in the pregame. They're going to have to utilize the grubber kick. Those high, lofting kicks for distance aren't going to come up as well. If you have the wind to your back, they're going to go a lot longer than you want. If you're kicking into the wind, they're not going to go very far at all.
And when you got a sure ball handler like Joel Yogers on your outside wing, that grubber's going to be a really good one because he's really hard to bring down, and he knows how to pick that grubber up well.
Pressing forward over the 22-meter line go the Reds, still looking for their first points of the contest, trailing 8-0. 15 minutes having expired in the first half.
And Dallas is dinged there for not releasing.
Just north of 70 degrees, expecting a high of 80. It is windy and clear, not a cloud in the sky. Yesterday it was dreary when we started things off. Some precipitation, and well, as we say in Texas, wait 10 minutes and the weather will change for you. That's certainly the case.
I don't think it's going to change too much in the next 10 minutes here, but
a line out for Metropolis. Good change of field position with that kick into touch. And they take advantage. Back it goes, Dallas with it. One of the few mistakes we've seen from the line out. That time Haley unable to find a teammate. Dallas moving quickly in the hands of Bolton.
Bolton with the footwork again, but he loses the ball.
Spun down, I should say, was Shaw.
Connor McGill there with him. Showing a lot of strength.
Back it goes. The big man Upton sends it down the line into the hands of Moore.
Freddie Jet's chip kick's a little overcooked, and again, there's the win. Taking it and pushing it out. They're going to take it back to midfield where he kicked it from.
Right at the midfield stripe, Haley to send it back in is the hooker for Metropolis via the line out. That time perfectly executed. Bowling forward. Ballstead had it. Quickly out in the hands of Ballstead yet again. Now the other way, Fisher. The tight head prop gets a touch to it. O'Haron gets it started quickly. Goes the other way, does Big Red.
He looks hungry, doesn't he?
Heron played well yesterday and anticipating more of the same from him. To the far side, good gang tackling by Metropolis. Trying to get that out to Cameron. You see Slater there barking out instructions, trying to set up things.
Metropolis ding there for hands into the ruck.
So McDermott, the captain, quickly over the 22-meter line, go the Reds. Good heads-up play. Looking to strike is Dallas.
See Freddie Jett, John Moore out there on the wing. You know, Freddie Jett's PR in college at 100-meter sprint at University of Tulsa was a 10.6. It's not quite the Perry Baker, Carlin Isles speed, but.
And dotted down the try for Dallas, their first of the match.
And Blake Bolton showing us those Quade Cooper-like moves he showed yesterday.
I was about to say, who else but Mr. Bolton. Beautiful work right there as he puts his side on the board for the first time. Does the fullback from the fly half, from Sydney, Australia.
Lineup today. Number 1, Matt Upton. Hooker, Bentini. 3, Carl Gray.
So we saw the ability of Bolton, and he is very difficult to track down. Shows his shifty hips, able to get through 2 and 3 tackles, and ultimately in it goes. Can Dallas cut it to a 1-point deficit? Just over 20 minutes remaining in the first half.
Bolton's definitely going to try and kick this from right in front, just get a high hanger and put the power through before the wind is. That kick's good.
Bolton into the wind and is able to convert, so it is a 1-point lead for Metropolis over Dallas Reds. Game 1 in the 4th round of the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship. A big thanks to all of our sponsors. You see them right there, Glass Phillips in Murray, the law firm of GPM, Mosquito Nicks, Baylor Scott in White Sports Care, and Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. Big thanks to all of them for making this production possible. We thank all of you for joining us. Don't forget, we will have the KC Blues and Austin Blacks coming up, our 4th and final match of the weekend. That will follow this. Back to live action we go. That's sent the other way off the boot of McDermott. Right into the hands of Shumper. Shumper goes for a little jaunt, but brought down quickly by that Reds defense. Metropolis. Right at the midfield stripe. Into the hands of McGill, the big lock. Oh, well tackled. That was Drake that time.
Drake being a monster man there. You know, Drake is a dog whisperer in real life. That's what he says his profession is.
I have not seen his television show.
I know, right? He did look much like he was whispering to a dog there.
It's one of my favorite things about this is getting to read the information that these guys send in. A lot of it is sent in by the coaches' staff, some of it by themselves. Mentioned Vincent Chase, the former SMU Mustang tight end, and Ty Terrazone, the captain for the Blacks, used to fly F-15s for the U.S. Air Force. I really enjoy Phil Bolton, the fullback for the Reds. Says he's been kicked out of the Democratic Republic of Congo for allegedly being a CIA arms dealer. We'll have to ask him about that later.
Joe Yogers finding the numbers. Let's see if he backs himself.
Oh, beautiful work on the far side. We saw Yogers yesterday. Metropolis moving numbers forward quickly into the hands of Pinata.
Vea Matahau has just been everywhere, almost at every breakdown for Metropolis this morning.
The open side flanker, Telly Vea Matahau. Without the speed today of JoJo Tico Isuva. But this has been back and forth, very entertaining. Much like a heavyweight prize fight, one punch and then a counter punch. Metropolis looking to extend their 1-point lead. Quickly out it goes into the hands of Larson. Big loose head prop now. Trying to find a bit of space.
They've got numbers, and they should have this one in.
Shumper. No, excuse me. That was
Logan
Hansen, rather. Hansen, the outside center, able to dot it down. And as you said, numbers, good movement to the outside quickly. They were able to recognize they had numbers. And this is a much improved Metropolis side from what we saw yesterday, even with all those absences.
And this is Hansen's 10th year of rugby. He comes through that Hopkins High School Duluth pipeline we talked about. As the guy who was a D2 Final Four MVP for last year in 2015 National Championships, that's a pretty serious honor to be receiving. The D2 level of rugby, once you get up into that Final Four, even the Final Eight, it's a pretty hard-hitting rugby, and to be the MVP means you really have to stand out. Hansen showed why he stands out there.
Grant, that's one thing we spoke of yesterday, the growth not just of Division I, Division II, Division III, is the conversion kick up from Ballstead is up and through, able to convert that time, and it is now an 8-point lead for Metropolis, just under 17 minutes left in the first half. For our viewers that aren't familiar with the levels of U.S. rugby, can you quickly inform them?
Well, you've got a huge growing rugby base in the youth and the high school levels. It's hard to even understand the numbers right now. In college, it's pretty steady at about 400 men's teams, and you do see some growth here and there, but the numbers are pretty steady. And it's in the club level here where we really need to see the growth. And these D1 clubs that are reaching deep, providing coaches to the high school and college teams that are around them, as well as making those relationships. The ones like Dallas, like Metropolis, Austin do it, I know KC does it. Those are the clubs that are going to be on top in the years to come.
Reds moving quickly out here in the hands of Cameron. Cameron found Kelly, and Kelly unable to hold on to it. And now Metropolis with it. Watching the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship. This is a first year of this event, as you might expect. These teams having to qualify the elite clubs in the Midwest and the Red River conferences. Also attempting to qualify for the U.S. Rugby Division I National Championship, as the Blacks of Austin did last year.
Moore and Cameron, they really respect Ballstead's boot, and Moore, even though he was back far enough, that's still knocked on out of his hands.
Yeah, Moore having an issue there. The wind in the face, unable to come up with it cleanly, was John Moore, the Muskogee, Oklahoma native. You mentioned the former University of Tulsa sprinter. Again, a 10-6 100-meter dash. That is flying.
Like I said, not Carlin Isles or Perry Baker speed at the 10-1, 10-2s, but it's fast enough.
If you're under about 11 seconds, that is a different world. After that, it's all semantics, in my opinion. Here comes Metropolis.
I'd be lucky to make 40 meters in 11 seconds.
Onto the big lock. Pressing forward was McGill. McGill loses it. Now the Reds, a bit of time in room. Breaking forward is Nielsen. Nielsen drugged down, back into the hands of Slater. Dallas sensing an opportunity here, trying to get numbers forward quickly. Out it comes, picked up by Upton. Into the hands of Shaw. Shaw still with it. Shaw looks, dummies it back over the 22-meter line. Out to that far side. Quickly moving was Bolton. Bolton looking for a teammate, big tackle.
Teeny right there for more. Bentini so good at securing ball and maybe not really being dynamic with it, but making sure the ball's secure so his team has possession to strike from.
In the hands of McDermott, the captain, yet again. Now Nielsen. But a bend but don't break mentality as the whistle quickly restarted by Upton.
And Upton didn't go through the mark.
Well, Upton trying to quickly restart things, and Dallas not able to catch Metropolis. Now Heron, Big Red, doing just that as he bowls forward. Back to Shaw. Shaw going the opposite direction. So now to the far side, Cameron now. Cameron offloads it, ball on the turf. Picked up by Metropolis. There's McEnroy.
They've got the advantage now, but there's none gained. Ball came out of Cameron's hand forward on the tackle.
So a bend but don't break mentality almost for that Metropolis defense. You see them, they're going to let Dallas play between the 22-meter line, but as soon as they get to that 22-meter line, there's another level from that Minnesota defense.
That takes a lot of communication to increase that, be patient, increase your level of communication once you're defending at the 22. In that red zone, so very difficult.
Metropolis scrum is their scrum half. Diffley sends it in. Now back to Diffley. Here, Pinata. Forward. Big. Kavika Pinata rolling forward. Big run there.
There's no footwork to Pinata. That's just all law of gross tonnage.
That is just force mass. That is a large man accelerating. Not someone you want to see in the open field with the head of steam is Kavika Pinata. We're seeing some hands on hips, hands on knees, as you might expect. Temperature above 70 degrees as we inch toward our high today of 80. But right now, surprisingly enough, and maybe because of the scoreboard, it seems that the heat affecting Dallas a bit more than Metropolis.
Well, Dallas definitely bringing some players in from their lower levels today after having so many injuries and the 3 contracts up to their three guys contracted to pro rugby. And that wind got a hold of that ball.
8 changes in the starting lineup today for the Reds. Heading forward.
And Taki there.
And Taki looking back to Nielsen, the number 8. Nick Antaki, that blind side flanker. Local product, another SMU Mustang.
There was a day when most of the Mustangs went to the Dallas Harlequins, but 2 Mustangs on the Reds, that's a different story.
Speaking of Reds, there's Big Red just shy of the 22-meter line. Now Upton going forward.
Speaking of gross tonnage.
Over the 22-meter line goes McDermott. Now back to Heron. Heron quickly into the hands of Nielsen. Good defense, good communication here. Pressing forward is Bolton. Bolton looked to sidestep the defender, but unable to get past him.
I think Metropolis learned their lesson on Bolton the first time he stepped through. There's an obstruction there.
Less than 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Dallas trails Metropolis 15-7. Watching live coverage of the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship. Live from Boswell High School here in the Eagle Mountain Saginaw Independent School District, just north of Fort Worth. Pioneer Stadium, the host for this weekend's competition. So pleased to have them and so pleased to be their guest, I should say. Another scrum at the 22-meter line.
This really has been a great facility. Got good warm-up fields for the teams on the other side of the visitors' bleachers. Plenty of nice facilities back there, locker room facilities to get ready and cool down in.
Put in by Dallas Slater, looking to get it back. Scrum spins around and comes out of it somehow. Does Vincent Chase the big lock, and we will see what the call is. Was he able to dot it down?
Summers is checking with his AR.
Again, you have to be in control. Not like football where it's simply a matter of crossing the goal line, and there is the signal.
Summers awards the try.
So the try to Vincent Chase, and we have a game, ladies and gentlemen. Dallas coming back, and they have cut it to a 3-point deficit. Can they cut it to 1? Take the opportunity to remind you that Boswell Rugby will be hosting the Best of the Southwest Youth Rugby Tournament coming up this June 11th and 12th right here at Boswell High School.
You can see some of those fields that they're going to have it on there in the picture now.
Yeah, they've got beautiful facilities out here, natural grass fields, along with this turf stadium of Pioneer. And the divisions will include varsity boys, JV boys, that is U16, varsity girls, middle school, under 14, 5th and 6th, under 12, and each team guaranteed a minimum of 5 matches. Select sides are welcome, and remember, the tournament will be capped at 8 teams per division, so jump on board early. You can do that at dfwrugby.com and register your side today. dfw.com for the Boswell Rugby Best of the Southwest Youth Rugby Tournament, June 11th and 12th.
Bolton's got a little bit more of a challenge on this kick.
Bolton, wind in his face. Very difficult. Has the leg. You see the wind holding it up, and it is through. Beautiful work there.
And once it got through, it got held up, didn't it? But it went through.
Well, you see when it gets higher in elevation, the wind really playing a factor. But Dallas able to cut it to a 1-point deficit. Again, a big thanks to all of our sponsors making this weekend and this broadcast possible. What a game, and we anticipated nothing less. As we said in the pregame, these two teams back in November was a 1-point win for Dallas, 25-24 over Metropolis, and shaping up to be very similar today. Oh, blocked, sent back, got a hand to it, did Vea Matahau.
Bolton's taking that touch and goal. It's going to be scrum 5 to Metropolis.
Credit Vea Matahau that time, just had the hands up, did not let the kick get over his head, and now pressure on Dallas, just meters from their own line. Diffley into the scrum, now gets it back. Ballstead moving quickly.
He's got Yogers on the outside, but Yogers was just a little bit ahead of that pass.
Yeah, you saw the pass from Shumper, and you have to be even or behind, cannot pass the ball forward. You can kick it forward, and our referee Derek Summers doing a great job of spotting that there on the far side. We've seen great officiating this whole weekend. That's one thing I really have to credit. A lot of times the officials are the brunt of scorn. They get all the bad feedback, but we must say they've been on top of pretty much everything and done a very good job. Dallas now with the scrum. Quickly out it comes. Bolton. Now Heron. Heron, a big head of steam forward. The other way over the 22-meter line. Ball on the turf. Metropolis able to pick it up. So some ball handling issues we've seen in this one. As Shumper forward for a slight gain in territory. Pinata quickly in and out of his hands and on to Vea Matahau.
Yogers breaks a good tackle there. He was sure on the money on that pass.
Yeah, Joel Yogers has speed for days. Great moves as well if they can get him some space on that far flank.
And he's extremely strong.
Great combination. You always talk about the wings being fast, but you need the strength as well. Now into the hands of Hansen. Going forward, Hansen.
Hansen with his brace today.
The try for Logan Hansen, his second of the match. Metropolis extends their lead. Currently 20-14, a chance to make it 22. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. And this has been very entertaining, back and forth, high octane rugby from these two sides.
Should be a nice kick for Ballstead, just like it was last time. He overcooked it a little bit to the left, just pulled it. But I think he'd be able to right that ship this time and push it through.
Both teams taking the advantage to grab a well-deserved drink, much needed. You see Glass, Phillips, and Murray.
They're a Dallas law firm providing a full range of legal services. GPM's lawyers represent clients in business transactions and litigation, as well as family law, estate planning, bankruptcy, intellectual property, and tax planning matters. Visit GPM's website at gpm-law.com. That's gpm-law.com. Glass, Phillips, Murray. Excellence with cost-effective results.
Ballstead looking for the conversion. It would put his side up 8. And with just 2.5 minutes remaining until the halftime whistle, this would be a big advantage for Metropolis. Up and through, Ballstead, perfect, splits the wickets. We've seen some impressive kicking from both sides. Saw it from Bolton for the Reds, and there Ballstead for Metropolis. Again, a big thanks to all of our sponsors. You heard about Glass, Phillips, and Murray. Mosquito Nicks, well, something that we all need here in the state of Texas come spring and summer. Baylor Scott and White Sports Care for all of your sports care needs. And Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, special thanks to them as well.
My favorite sponsor.
I think you're not alone in that, if I had to guess.
That ball went into touch, but Donnie Hendrip is telling Derek Summers that it was knocked forward. So Summers is going to give the option, scrum or line out. And Dallas is going to take the scrum here.
Fans, we remind you to stick with us. We will have a quick rundown analysis of the first half of play from our own Grant Cole. Then we will take a break, bring you back for the second half, and stick with us post-game. We will have interviews with coaches and captains, and still a match yet to be played. KC Blues and Austin Blacks, our fourth and final game, round 4 of the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship. Just 2 games remaining in this season's championship. It'll be in April. KC at Metropolis, Austin at Dallas. But Austin with a win today. A chance to bring home that inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship trophy. Heron quickly.
Heron did not go through the mark.
Second time Heron's done that. Or not done that, I should say.
Penalty given there for wheeling the scrum by Metropolis.
Again, the referee, Derek Summers, he is the official timekeeper as well, so even when the clock strikes 0, we may well continue for a bit. That is at his discretion, and it's good news for Dallas. Line out to the Reds. Quickly into the hands of Heron.
Well taken by Heron.
Maul ensues. And that ball pops out into the hands of Pinata. I believe that was Struther, actually. My apologies. So Struther, the big lock, able to get his hands on it. Good hands from Jerome Struther.
He's been sure-footed and sure-handed for Metropolis yesterday, second half, and the first half this morning.
Metropolis sends that one the other way. Does Ballstead. Oh, beautifully placed all the way back to Moore.
Moore doing well to keep that in check.
Moore comes out of his own 22-meter line. Now on to Kelly. Kelly heading forward.
Metropolis did not release the ball in that tackle.
Dallas with it. Will they have time to find points before the halftime whistle blows?
Chase there with a big run.
That is two large men colliding, Vincent Chase and Connor McGill. Moore looks to kick it forward. Moore unable to come up with the grubber. Into the hands of Shumper.
Morris put Shumper into touch. Sean Martin has his flag up, and Derek Summers says that's the end of the half.
40 minutes in the books, 40 minutes to play at the half. Metropolis on top of Dallas, 22-14. And we thank Mosquito Knicks, the Gold Cup, sponsored by our friends at Mosquito Knicks, the national leader in mosquito control. They offer custom systems, ongoing treatments, and do-it-yourself solutions to eliminate all those flying, biting insects such as mosquitoes, flies, no-see-ums, fleas, ticks, and more. Mosquito Knicks is protecting outdoor lifestyles anytime, anywhere. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. To find a location near you, simply go to mosquitonicks.com or call 972-934-2000 for a free estimate and learn more. mosquitonicks.com, our official sponsor here of the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup. Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you here at the break. Match number 1, our final day, round 4, and Grant, your analysis of the first 40 minutes.
Well, Dallas really hasn't played the game that they want to play yet. They've had 2 tries, both of them coming off of first receiver receptions, Bolton and Chase, and that's they want to set up a little bit more phase play, bunch the defense up more, and actually use Freddie Jett and Spencer Cameron the way they were meant to be used. Metropolis has been a little bit more methodical, especially when they get down inside. They're using their forwards to bunch up the defense well, and each time they scored a try with Hanson's hands, they've been able to create an overload, easy 3-on-1, play the straight running game, put Hanson into in goal.
Fans, don't go anywhere. Second half coming up next, along with Grant Cole's keys to the second half. At the half, Metropolis on top of Dallas, 22-14 on USA Rugby TV.com, presented by T5 RDG. Moments away from the start of the second half, round 4 of the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship here on USARugbyTV.com, presented by T5RDG. Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you. And Grant, curiously enough, neither one of these teams taking the full allotted 10 minutes at the half. You figure with the weather, they would take every second they can, but they are locked, loaded, back on the pitch, ready to go. Your keys to the second half.
I figure with the weather, they want to get this game over with as fast as possible. Keys to the second half, Ballstead adjusted real easily to the wind, taking the ball away from him in the first half. Now he's going the opposite direction. He's got another adjustment to make. Blake Bolton, you're going to see him use that kick more. He didn't use that kick that much in the first half because he was going into it. Now he's got a little bit of distance, and he might be able to work it and use some line-out work with bouncing it into touch. So let's see what they've got.
Metropolis going from left to right in those red, white, and blue striped jerseys. Dallas in the white with the red trim, going from right to left. We are underway, second half between Dallas Reds and Metropolis Rugby Club. Live from Boswell High School here in the just northwest of Fort Worth, I should say. That ball definitely unable to get a hand to it, and here comes Dallas the other way, moving to Bolton quickly. Still with Bolton.
Bolton almost too quickly. He's running away from his support. And McDermott is going to have overcooked that one. He's going to want that one back. That's a touch and goal. We're going to scrum at the kick there.
Well, you see the wind really wreaking havoc with those kicks, the long ones that go up high, really playing a factor. And I think that's something that the Blacks and the Blues of Austin and Casey, respectively, who are playing next, something they're watching and taking note of.
Yeah, and I think McDermott really wanted to chip kick that one, and he got it wrong on his foot. And it looked like when he kicked it, he knew he had it wrong.
Pioneer Stadium, host of this weekend's competition. We thank them for hosting on short notice as the weather forced us away from Keller Sports Park, the initial home of this competition. But because those natural grass fields are just now starting to dry out, moved here to the synthetic turf surface. You see the blue lines. That is what we play the width by, and a bit wider than your football field.
Jogers did well to keep that in the field of play, but he did pass it back to a Dallas player.
Again, our referee for today's contest is Derek Summers.
Summers is going to want to have a discussion with the captain. He's not exactly happy with what he saw there.
So big number 8, Wade McEnroy, along with the full scrum half Adam Diffley coming over, and he's going to chat it up with them. I don't think they're exchanging Twitter handles, if I had to guess.
Definitely. He's probably telling McEnroy that he wants Diffley to stop killing the ball like he's been doing. Let's let Dallas have a chance to actually do something with it instead of just diving on it and killing it.
So Dallas on the Metropolis side of midfield. They will send that one into touch, will the Reds. Second meeting of this competition between these two teams. First, as we mentioned, back in November, just a 1-point victory for Dallas, 25-24 the final in that. This shaping up very similar. Maybe a bit more high scoring, but we'll see if these teams can keep up this torrid pace for the full 80 minutes. Here comes Teeny. Teeny, the hooker for the Reds. Oh, beautiful work right into the hands of Antaki. Excuse me.
And Heron with a nice little move right around the side, snipes the post, gets a few meters out of it.
Dallas looking to go forward is big Matt Upton. No sign yet, and there it is. To Dallas, the first points of the second half.
Antaki drove that one in with Johnny Heron pushing behind him. It was a nice little pick and drive by the two back row and mid rowers.
Two large men right there. Antaki, the lock at 6'4", 240. Heron about the same size. And Dallas a chance to cut the lead, the deficit to 1. Bolton has been impressive all day. The wind now swirling a bit. It was going from right to left across your screen, now kind of going from the near side of the pitch here to the far. So we'll see if that affects Bolton's kick and how he executes it. Wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour.
Bolton's kick looks true. He raises the sticks.
Conversion up and through. Bolton cuts it to a 1-point Metropolis lead. Again, big thanks to all of our sponsors, Glass Phillips and Murray, Mosquito Nicks, Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, and Baylor Scott in a White Sports Care. Without them, we would not be able to present this to you. And so pleased you could join us. Game 1 of 2. Back to the action we go, and the wind is going to push that back. I do not believe it traveled the requisite 10 meters.
No, but Bentini, if nobody got a hand on it, he was definitely looking to see if he could take that and go.
Yeah, there's a heads-up play there from the hooker for the Reds. He was looking around to make sure nobody got a hand to it. If they did, he was going to be off to the races, as you mentioned. Scrum at the midfield stripe. So far, the scrum, how would you characterize it? Would you say it's been pretty even from both sides, Grant?
It's going back and forth. Once Metropolis learned how to stop the wheel, they probably stopped it by creating a wheel themselves, but both teams are looking to get the ball out of there quickly. They don't really want a long time in the scrum, and that's what you're seeing there from Nielsen and Slater.
Bit of time in the room going forward. There is Nielsen. Scrum half. Quickly out into the hands of McDermott. McDermott, unable to hold on to it, was Shaw.
Chase wasn't afraid to go after it.
Now back to Teeny. I mentioned the athletic specimen that is Vincent Chase as that bounces in and out of the hands of Upton. Metropolis with hands on it. Chase listed at, or Vincent Chase, I should say, listed at 6'6", 265 pounds. Doesn't matter what level of rugby you're playing at. That is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you definitely want to tackle the big men in the legs and take them down that way. They don't like to get up too much.
It's a long way down for the 6'6" Chase. So scrum to Metropolis. Diffley waits for the, there it is, the little tap signals he's putting it in. Quickly out it comes. Piniata.
Ball's
Now-
taken from him when he tried to offload it.
Yeah, now with Moore. Moore stays in bounds. Out it comes, Slater now. In and out of the hands of Chase. Chase pleading his case with the referee, but usually that
It's not going to go anywhere with Summers.
yeah, usually doesn't work very well. Sometimes has the opposite of the intended effect.
It's a really nice tackle by Logan Hansen on Moore over here. Moore almost had a chance to take off, but Hansen, he gathered him up quickly, and Moore did everything he could to stay in the field of play. Hansen was definitely trying to take him into touch.
Scrum just shy of the midfield stripe for Metropolis. Blacks and Blues of Austin and KC on hand, getting ready for their matchup coming up next. Quickly out. McGill.
Dallas defense is staunch on that blindside move.
We've seen great defense from both sides in this one. Trying to move quickly. Back Bolton.
Slater with the footwork.
Slater still with it. Slater here
Yeah,
to
the
the near
pace. Does he
side.
back
Has
himself?
the room. Slater drugged down, but where? And Slater in for the try. So what a run from Slater, but credit Blake Bolton. Great job offloading it, and Slater, the nifty sidestep shows his wheels.
Yeah, that was some brilliant stuff from Slater.
But Dallas with their first lead of the contest, just 7.5 minutes in to the second half, and that heat and humidity may be starting to play a factor, certainly for the Metropolis side. Temperature, as we said, mid-70s. It continues to heat up on there, down on that synthetic surface. It's 10 or 15 degrees warmer.
Slater, he's 24. He's only in his 6th year of play. Played for Sam Houston State. Played in for James Bay last year. He also played college football at Sam Houston as well as rugby. So he's a ball blown off the tee.
Listed at 5'9", 175 is Slater, former defensive back there for the Bearcats of Sam Houston State. You can see his speed. I mean, he's one of those guys. He gets the ball in room, and he is difficult, if not impossible, to catch. I think the only person may have a shot. I'd like to see a foot race between he and John Moore. That would be pretty impressive.
Bolton not quite have the kick, but it doesn't matter because Dallas has a 4-point lead now on Metropolis.
So Bolton, some issues there with the conversions. Is the wind certainly playing a factor? Another thanks to our sponsors, Glass, Phillips, Murray, Mosquito Nicks, Baylor, Scott and White Sports Care, and Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. A bit of that being drunk last night by these sides as they were out enjoying themselves in Dallas and Fort Worth. Beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. A wonderful day for rugby as Ballstead set to put it back into play. Fisher. There was Diffley. Or excuse me, rather, there was Slater. All the way back, tracked down by Shumper. Shumper surveys and thought about sending it the other way, the dummy not having the intended effect.
Looks like Ben Oley's come in for, I would say, Sean Kelly at some point.
Ben Oley played very well yesterday as the left wing. Had some serious speed. We mentioned those absences for both squads.
Oley's at scrum half now for Adam Diffley.
So a big change there is Oley. Now inside, takes it, does Oley, and those bright green boots, easy to pick out. In and out of the hands there of Piniazza.
And that's unfortunate. That's going to be Dallas is going to be loving that mistake. You got to make those passes count, especially in this wind. Keep them low, and high pass like that, especially with this wind, is going to definitely burn you every time.
That was one of the stories of our game yesterday, or both of our games yesterday, were turnovers. Neither team able to really secure the ball at times. Now Dallas pushing forward in the hands of big Matt Upton. Upton, the former Jesuit Ranger. Spinning away, Dallas still with it. No, here comes Metropolis the other way, taken away by Struther.
Struther coming up with ball any way he can.
You mentioned Struther's his hands, very impressive for the big man. He's done a great job. Piniazza sends it further. Moving forward was Hansen.
Struther is a product of that Spearhead Academy. I mean, he's only been in rugby for 5 years now, and he's going to a college that doesn't have a rugby program, but he's definitely making a move.
We'll talk about that Spearhead Academy in just a moment. Such an interesting thing. And now we will have the opportunity with the whistle and kind of well, for our fans who aren't familiar with it, what is the Spearhead Academy, Grant?
A lot of academies, there's a lot of academy systems in the States. Spearhead's up in Minneapolis, the Twin City areas, and basically it's a place for people who want to improve their rugby and maybe take it to a different level or at a high performance level already to spend many a day and many an hour under some elite coaching, doing just exactly that.
The growth of the game exponential at every level. Rugby, one of the fastest growing sports in the country. Piniazza forward just shy of the 22-meter line. Now Oley into the hands of Hansen. Special welcome to all of our viewers from the land of 10,000 lakes. A lot of local fans as well here from the Metroplex. A lot of them on hand cheering on their Reds. Great atmosphere here at Pioneer Stadium, and that time McGill unhappy as he shows his displeasure with the whistle. 14 minutes into the second half. It is a 1-point lead for Metropolis over Dallas. Right now, starting to see the heat and humidity taking its toll. It was 1,000 miles a minute in the first half, and things slowing down here a bit in the second. Scrum to Dallas. Slater. Slater still with it. Quickly back and tried to offload it there to Shaw. Now Big Matt Upton bowls forward. Upton still on his feet, finally goes to ground. Herron.
Teeny.
What a run from Teeny. Twisting, turning, spinning towards the line. Bolton again. Bolton cuts through. Bolton dots it down. Blake Bolton, another one, and he has been sensational.
He definitely saw the gap there and split it easily. It's so important seeing a half gap like that and being able to exploit it with a little bit of a dummy and then explode through it. Bolton's footwork helps him do that, and then he's a sense of mind just to take it straight in, get it dotted down as quickly as possible, and then put Dallas up another 9 points.
Yeah, you talk about the footwork there of the Sydney native, and he has great speed, but it's not that top-end speed. It's not that 10-5 John Moore speed. It's really that quickness, and it's that burst in 5 or 10 yards.
Yeah, and getting through that half gap, you know, a lot of rugby players, they want to run into the gap at full speed, and really what Bolton's showing there is you hit the gap at about 3/4 speed, and then you turn it on. You've essentially the defender thinks you're going through at one speed, then you turn it on at another speed, and the defender's left in the dust. And that's exactly what Bolton did there. He left him chasing him.
So Dallas now with a 11-point lead as the conversion is up and through. 33-22 in favor of the Reds. And, well, they may have started slowly, but they are certainly picking up momentum here in the second half.
Referee has his time as it looks like Metropolis is making some changes.
So indeed, Metropolis bringing some fresh legs on.
Peter Nomura coming on.
Saw Nomura yesterday. Nomura will be that left wing. Excuse me, the right wing rather.
He's come on for King, it looks like.
All the way back to Shumper, and Shumper is going to wisely watch that one through. So you see the bounce here from this turf field, different than what most of these teams are playing. Most of these guys play on that natural grass and poses a few differences and something they've tried to get used to.
Well, I mean, the grass, you got a little bit better grip in, and sometimes depending on what the cut is of the grass is how your ball is going to bounce. Here, with the wind and the bounce of a turf field, you just got to really be careful when you're kicking with the wind. That ball is going to go out the back of the touching goal, and it's going to come back scrum where you kicked from to the opposite team. That's just really the same as a knock-on, if not worse.
Scrummage to Metropolis. Ole, his pass eventually finding Ballstead, not how he anticipated, and there
Nomura, the big Fijian, getting his first carry of the game.
yeah, Pate Nomura out on that side.
Not releasing the tackle by Dallas. Ole wants to take a run, and
Ole had it momentarily, then knocked away.
Tucker Shaw, good with the footy skills there.
Yeah, Tucker Shaw showing off his ability, but Dallas unable to come up with it.
No advantage gain there. Looks to have been a knock-on at some point.
The Ben Ole will have it. Now having a chat with some Reds is our referee, Derek Summers. Talking there with Logan Hansen, among others.
Looked like Tucker Shaw and Rob McDermott were the object of his affections.
I like how you phrase that. So line out on the far side to Metropolis. Just over 20 minutes remaining in the contest, and it is a 33-22 lead for Dallas. Started slowly, did the Reds, but they've built up steam. Now Metropolis looking to counter-strike. Vea Matahau. Oli.
Vea Matahau so keen on that ball after it comes out of the hands of Marai.
McGill. Oli back with it. Oli drugged down by Heron quickly. Good tackle there.
Dallas with a strong counter ruck gets possession. Metropolis will not be denied, though, will they?
No, Metropolis continuing to stick with it. Eventually one possession back. Now bowling forward. We've seen some heavy hitting there. Things really getting intense just shy of the 22-meter line.
Logan Hansen with a nice little step in the gap.
Hansen cuts back, the side step, and Hansen.
That's a hat trick for Hansen today.
Down it goes. Logan Hansen dots it down for the try, and he just smelled it. He knew he was close enough. You saw him, the side step, cut it back. Looked like he was going to go down, able to keep his footing. And wouldn't you know it, we talked about punch and counter punch. Another counter punch from Metropolis, a chance to draw within 4.
You know, we talked about that the pathways to up through high school rugby and college rugby into the D1, and notably so, all of the scores from for Metropolis today have come from University of Minnesota Duluth players.
Such a luxury to have that kind of pipeline that they do. Talk about that Hopkins High School program, so impressive. Minnesota Duluth, the men's Division II national champion. Is up and through it goes by Ballstead, and what a performance in his debut for the first team.
Hey, he's had a good day, that's for sure. Definitely hard to be a legacy player and live up to a name, and it looks like Ballstead's getting off on the right foot there.
Ballstead has been playing this game probably since he could walk. Certainly has had a rugby ball in his hands for that long. Again, we thank all of our sponsors making today's broadcast possible. Without them, we would not be up and on the air and would not have the pleasure of your company. Again, Kit McConico, Grant Cole with you. Both teams moving quickly. Just 18 minutes remaining. Ballstead has been waiting a long time for this opportunity, and he's certainly taken full advantage.
Knock on there out of McEnroy's hands. It's going to give Dallas the ball.
So Dallas with the scrum just on the other side of the 22-meter line. That 4-point lead not enough for the Reds, looking to add some insurance. Quickly out, Slater. Now on to Bolton. Drug down was McDermott. Back with Slater. Oh, in and out of the hands of Shaw.
Shaw knocked it on, though, even though he quickly used his foot to get the ball out to his wing, still knocked it on. Looks like Dundee Walker and Eric Gibbs have come on for the Reds.
Trying to pick up the substitutions as we see them. We're not privy to that information.
Both of them replacing Herod and Vince Chase.
Strange they don't give us a call up here in the broadcast booth saying who's coming on and coming off. But Grant Cole doing a wonderful job serving as analyst and spotter. For that, I thank you.
You're very welcome, kid.
It's been a wonderful weekend. Day 2, the final day of our competition. Is McGill. He is gang tackled by the Reds. They took 3 to bring the big lock down. Now cutting through, some space for Metropolis, offloaded. Piniata absolutely levels the tackler.
Don't
that time
argue.
It was Shumper. Shumper introduced to Pinata not the way he was looking for, and Kavika Pinata just steamrolling Simeon Shumper.
Yes, Spencer Cameron definitely didn't get the best end of that one, did he?
That was something else. The big man with...
Oh, we talked about the law of gross turnage earlier.
Giving you a physics lesson as well. You never know what you're going to pick up in a rugby broadcast. Sets the scrum, does referee Derek Summers. And Taki, the big lock, going forward for a short gain.
He took that one quickly.
And Taki's shown some speed. If he gets the ball, he has no hesitation moving forward.
Nice little battle going on in the breakdowns today.
Teeny. Metropolis unhappy with that. Their sideline.
Derek Summers was saying that the Metropolis player had his hand in. You can't be playing that ball off the ground.
So Vea Matahau slow to his feet. Is the open side flanker, and an opportunity with the kick. Can Bolton put the Reds up another 3? Can he give them a 7-point advantage? Native of Sydney, Australia. The fly half has been fantastic in the kicking game. Can he do it again? Up and through, another 3 points for Blake Bolton, another 3 points for the Dallas Reds.
When you got that wind at your back, it's very easy to make those kicks. And Metropolis, they used that in the first half to get up on the board early. They're going to have to respect that when Dallas is attacking inside their half of the field.
Metropolis, they took an early lead in this, really came out on the front foot, taking it to the Reds, but the Reds have woken up, so to speak. And here trying, that ball taken beautifully by Struther. We've mentioned Struther numerous times in this contest, and just goes high in the air to bring that down.
Dallas being dinged for not rolling away at the tackle. Struther, he really did a good job taking that.
That is a very difficult thing to do. It's a leap of faith, pun intended. There's big Bryant Larson. Now McGill. On to Murray. Quickly out to Ole.
Chris Slater wanting none of Wade McEnroy.
That's understandable. Is
Gives up
Pinata.
80 pounds.
It's a battle you're not going to win in a one-on-one situation very often. Ole serving as the scrum half is Ben Ole, and doing a pretty good job. Here to the near side in the hands of Yogerst. Yogerst.
Solid tackle, but they let it go, so Yogerst got to roll, and he's taken into touch. Donnie Henrup has his flag up.
You see the power of Yogerst, Joel Yogerst. We mentioned his speed. He is a powerful runner, difficult to bring down.
He was an NCSA All-America when he was in college. That's not an easy thing to make. That means your strength coach, who notoriously strength coaches are harder on your character and your work ethic than your regular coach. Your strength coach has to actually recommend you for that.
Something you know a bit about. One by the Reds, and
Bolton with some footwork, and he's put that one into touch.
that was Alec Hernandez, the former St. Edward's University man. So into touch goes the kick. Line out coming from the far side. 11 and a half minutes remaining, and Dallas with a 7-point lead over Metropolis. Watching the inaugural Rugby Gold Cup Championship here on USARugbyTV.com, presented by T5RDG. Game 2, round 4, if you will, of this competition. We have the Blacks and the Blues of Austin and KC coming up next. And then the final matches of this competition will take place in late April, Saturday the 23rd. Kansas City will be up in Minneapolis to take on this same Metropolis side. And Austin will be right here the following Saturday, the 30th of April, to take on the Reds. Blacks with an opportunity to take home the first ever Rugby Gold Cup Championship trophy. Add to their expansive trophy case down there at Burr Field in Austin. Slater. Has it back, elects to come to the near side. Bolton sends that one over the head. But eventually picked up by Metropolis.
Namora with a little risky, quick end ball there.
Peter Namora had it, and
not taken by Shumper very well, but they cleaned it up and maintained possession.
Playing deep in their own end is Metropolis. Ole sends that one high over the top, looking to take the pressure off if momentarily comes down, makes the tackle.
Pentini dropped back to maintain the coverage deep. How often do you see a hooker back at covering deep with his wing and fullback?
Got to be impressed with that. Boys in the pack getting into the action all across the pitch.
Spencer Cameron not releasing that ball in the tackle, gets dinged for it. And
Ballstead, oh, beautiful touch from Ballstead.
Ballstead's step back inside was what was gorgeous about that.
Yoger still on his feet, drugged down. Another big run from Joel Yogers for Metropolis. Now Dallas back with it. Deep in their end, Dallas intelligently sends it the other way. Piniata gives chase.
Piniata's the only one back there, and
that is going to stay in play. Piniata has to pick it up.
Oh,
Piniata's pass.
Overcooked pass to Namora. Now Namora's going to have to turn the wheels on, and Namora looks a little tired here.
Piniata and Namora both gassed. That goes out to Vea Matahau.
Vea Matahau does not look gassed, and he makes
Vea Matahau's got a lot left in the tank.
Wow, that was a great pass.
Quickly out from Ole. Heading forward, tackle just on the other side of midfield. Metropolis. Good move there as they were pinned deep in their own area. But Vea Matahau able to bring it out.
See Ryan Leonard coming to game there. The other Chabal look-alike on this team.
I believe there are three we counted.
Three.
There are three Chabal look-alikes. The question is, who looks most like the former French captain?
We're gonna have to go with McEnroy there. He's just got the face for it.
Oh, and he is the captain as well, so
yes.
it just works out.
He's also got the spirit, yeah.
Yeah, walking down on their sideline pre-match and looking at those guys, did a few double takes. Another thanks to Baylor Scott and White Healthcare, the largest non-profit health system in the Lone Star State. Over 30 hospitals across the state of Texas. They deliver complete and customized treatments for you and your loved ones. You can connect with their medical staff at BaylorHealth.com/sportscare or simply by calling 1-800-4BAYLOR. Again, big thanks to them and all of our sponsors. There will be a line out to the Reds. Oh, excuse me, that'll actually beat a Metropolis as Vea Matahau set to see if he elects to go short or deep in this situation. Goes short and well played, quickly out the hands of Ole. Ole on to Ballstead. Piniata, one of the first times he has not been able to make headway. And that's the thing with Kavika Piniata. You've got to be close when he receives the ball. Make that tackle. Do not let him get a full head of steam. Ole here to the near side. McEnroy on to Vea Matahau. Strother.
Leonard and Buntrock are in the game for Metropolis now.
You had the opportunity to speak with Buntrock's college coach last night, I
yeah.
believe. Told you some interesting stories about his former player.
Well, I was kind of she was kind of surprised to see that Buntrock hadn't had a bloody nose yet this game. Apparently, he likes to lead with his nose into the tackles and the breakdowns, and often has to get cotton stuffed in his nose so he can return to play.
It's a inauspicious honor. It's one of those things. Hazards of the game.
Buntrock's name is Andy, but he goes by the name Teddy, and there's got to be a story behind that one because nobody will tell me why.
Well, he had to stand up at the team dinner last night and tell a story. They were not going to share that story that he told with his teammates to you and I think that's probably a good thing. we appreciate their discretion in that matter. Out to the side, Bolton. Bolton still with it. Pinata. Bolton still on his feet somehow over the 22-meter line.
Bolton showing some great heart today.
And Taki.
Dallas using their hands now, which is what they want to do. They know they're strong there.
Good phases here from the Reds, looking to string things together.
Slater, unfortunately, with a knock-on at the base of that breakdown.
One of the few mistakes we've seen from the scrum half, Chris Slater. He's been very impressive.
He's quick. Quick as can be with the pass and with the feet.
That's the thing. You want that ball in and out of your hands when it comes out of the scrum or the ruck. You want it from the scrum half down the line as quickly as possible. Slater certainly does that. So a scrum for Metropolis just inside their own 22-meter line. That would be the 20-yard line here at Pioneer Stadium on the campus of Boswell High School. Welcome all of you joining us. 4 minutes remaining in the contest, and a 7-point lead for the Reds of Dallas. Metropolis. Plenty of time for the side from Minnesota. They lost a heartbreaker by 1 point back in November, 25-24 to Dallas. They do not want a similar result. They want to get on the winning end of this one. But Dallas in midseason form, as they are in midseason. Metropolis, they've not played a competitive match since that game back in mid-November. Big tackle there from Diffley.
Eric Gibbs really wanted to show his stuff there, tackling Pinata, huh?
That is I don't know if that's the wisest decision.
Gibbs is he's a tall fella, and he doesn't mind mixing it up, that's for sure.
Vea Matahau. Oli on to Ballstead. Pinata. They're at the far side.
Namora's tackle is not, he knocks it on from his tackle, though.
Oh, Pinata found it. That ball just kind of ended up in the hands of Big Kavika Pinata, the inside center. We've certainly seen the temperature, that heat and humidity playing a role, not as quick either side to get back into the scrummage. You see the wind there on the far side and those tents underneath the, should say, over the scorer's table, and gusts, as we mentioned, 15 to 20 miles an hour. That's the only respite that these guys are getting. Temperatures getting close to that 80-degree mark, as we again thank Glass, Phillips, and Murray. Do such a wonderful job. That law firm providing full range of legal services. They represent clients in business, litigation, as well as family law, estate planning, bankruptcy, intellectual property, and tax planning matters. You can visit them at gpm-law.com. Again, Glass, Phillips, and Murray. Excellence with cost-effective results. gpm-law.com.
And Derek Summers had a discussion with Donnie Henrup about a infraction of some sort that happened on the field here. Summers is awarding a different call than the knock-on that was called earlier.
You got to credit our officials. Anytime there's a question, they are coming together. They're making sure that they're all on the same page, that they do indeed get the correct call. As Ole sends that one into touch, and you see the wind right there.
Yeah, it definitely took the ball. It gusted up at that moment.
Ole looking to send that one further down the pitch, but unable to do so as the wind coming to the aid of the Reds. In the face of Metropolis, a try and a conversion would draw them even. Will they have the opportunity?
Nice take by Struther.
Very little time remaining. Struther continues his impressive outing in this matchup. Does the lock. Out Ole on to Ballstead. Ballstead. Back it goes. Into the hands of Kelly that time. And Hansen over there.
King so strong out there with the hands.
Roger King doing a wonderful job. Now Dallas finds themselves fortuitously with it. Not so fast. Chris Slater saying, look what I found, but not the case.
Broderick King's a young one, too. He's 22. He went through a high school line up to rugby and at Adena High School and then North Dakota State.
Vea Matahau, time and room. Vea Matahau drugged down. Oh, beautiful tackle that time from Shumper. Or excuse me, from Cameron. My apologies. There's Big Struther, Big Jerome Struther over the 22-meter line. An offensive force is the lock, Jerome Struther for Metropolis.
Ole saw a little hole in the Dallas defense on the weak side and got another few meters out of it.
Is there time for Metropolis to draw even? The 40 minutes in the second half has expired, but referee keeping the official time on the field. Can Metropolis dot it down and convert to tie it up?
Metropolis doing strong work keeping possession through these phases.
Ole out to Ballstead, cuts it back in, does Ballstead. Ole again. Hansen, over goes Yogerst, and Yogerst. What a run from Joel Yogerst.
Joe Yogerst, man, he's been trying to get past that in goal line all day, and he's had 3 or 4 good runs, and this one finally, Logan Hansen had him in pay. You know, Logan with his 3 tries, he's already dangerous, and you can't just let him go. And he sucked the defense in, gave it to Yogerst, and Yogerst did all the rest of the work there.
A phenomenal run from Yogerst. Was able to power through, dotted it down, and now the pressure on the shoulders of Trace Ballstead. His first appearance with this Metropolis D1 side. Can he convert? That spins around and through. No, it does not. It appeared that it did initially, and it actually went around the goalpost.
And let's see if there's still time left for one more round of play.
So Derek Summers checks his watch. And that was, well, you saw the wind certainly in effect right there. Ballstead really tried to angle it. It did not come back. It went actually around the outside of the near post.
And Dallas, they seem to be trying to delay it, maybe take some time off, but there's still time for one more kickoff.
Dallas is going to take as much time as they can off this clock, as they are hoping that that final whistle blows very shortly. For Metropolis. Trailing by 2. A penalty kick would put them in front if they have that opportunity.
Namura's pass, that went to touch, and that's it.
And there is the final whistle from Derek Summers. Metropolis. The comeback falls just short. The Reds victorious 36-34. What a game from the opening kick. It was scintillating. A great second half. And the first time these two teams played, 1 point separated them. Today, 2 points.
Well, in Metropolis, if they would have supported Yogerst on some of his breakaway runs a little bit better, might have been able to put some more points on the board. Namora certainly was not as effective today as he was yesterday, and yesterday he did leave the pitch injured. So it was a tough ask for that. Dallas, got to give credit to Blake Bolton. He was really the heart and soul there today, picking it up in the back line. But Matt Upton in the breakdown area today, the big man just powering through, being there. he did the hard work. He really did the hard work in the breakdowns, and you didn't see that from him yesterday. But today he really stepped it up.
Upton, the local product, former Jesuit High Ranger from right there in Central Dallas. A big performance to lead his side to the victory. Fans, we remind you to stick with us. We will have post-game interviews coming up next, along with our second game of the day, our final game of the weekend here in round 4 of the inaugural Gold Cup Rugby Championship. It will feature the Blues of Kansas City, the Blacks of Austin. And again, we thank our sponsors, the law firm of Glass, Phillips, and Murray, Mosquito Nix, Baylor Scott and White Sports Care, and Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. They are wonderful, and without them, we would not be able to bring you this great competition. The first year ever featuring the top 2 sides from the Red River and Midwest. Post-game interviews coming up next, and then it will be KC Blues and the Austin Blacks, the final. Dallas over Metropolis, 36-34. Here in our post-game wrap-up with the side from Metropolis, their head man, Nate Osborne, along with the captain, Wade McEnroy. And, Coach, first to you. The weather certainly played a bit of a factor in this, temperature around 80 degrees. But talk to us about what you saw today on the pitch, especially from your younger players.
Like I spoke about yesterday, we wanted to just get better as the weekend went on. And so our first half yesterday was really, really bad. Second half got better. Our first half today was great. We played the kind of rugby we wanted to try and play. Second half, the heat got to us, the wind got to us. Credit to Dallas, they came out at us 100 mile an hour in that second half. And I think it was a great weekend for us to learn. We learned a lot. Our young guys really got some good experience. So I think going into our second half of our fall season, it's going to be great for us.
Now on to the captain of Metropolis, Raid McEnroy. And Raid, talk to us a little bit about what your takeaways from this game. This is only your second match you played in just about 5 months. What have you seen the past 2 days from your side?
Well, like Nate was saying, we've got a really young team, and it's just nice to see what those guys can do and what they can give us. And, we just go back home, we work on it. We get outside next week for the first time. I can't wait, till the season starts in 3 weeks. And we're just going to shore things up and get her going.
And, Coach, finally back to you. How do you build on this? As you said, these are 2 impressive games. Things didn't go the way you anticipated, but a long season ahead. What are your takeaways from these 2 matches?
I think we should just keep reiterating. We've got a young team, and the more we get positive reinforcement into these guys and the more positive play we get, the better we're going to become. It's really easy to sit back and say, we just got beat by 2 very good teams, or we can say, how do we get better? Because when we come up against these guys playoff time, how do we beat them and how do we take that next step? And I think that's the biggest thing we needed from this weekend.
Nate Osborne, head coach of Metropolis, Wade McEnroy, the captain. I thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.